Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of Pole Obsession. We're so happy to be here with you, and we're so happy that you're listening to us. That's awesome. We appreciate that. We didn't know it would happen, and it's a pleasant surprise.
All right, so this episode we're going to talk about the judges, so judges in general, but the judges for the Australian Pole Championships, the national judges, because that is coming up next week.
It's so soon. It is so soon. And by the time this comes out, it's probably only a few days away.
Yeah, definitely. Well, we'll try to get it out soon, but yeah, it will be. So let's just start with them. Let's go straight into it.
Let's go.
So our first judge is Amy Devordy. So Amy has done pole dancing for 15 years. A lot of people do know who Amy is. So she's been an instructor at Aerial Pole Academy, and she's been an instructor at Sydney Pole. So she's also been an instructor, and she's a current instructor at Achieve with Andrea Rife at the moment. So she's been doing it for many years, but she's also competed. So she's competed and she's won state heats. So she won ACT Pole Championships years ago before she had some babies. She's got little babies as well, just like you.
We love babies.
Love babies. So she's competed and she's competed in the national finals of the Australian Pole Championships because she won a state heat. And she's also been a video judge since 2011. Amy was one of the very first people working with me in the Australian Pole Championships. So that's how long she's been around for. And she's either been a crew member or part of the judging of the competition for that long. So she knows this competition inside out.
Amazing.
Yeah.
It is so good to have like somebody who knows not only who's a good judge, but who knows the competition as well.
Well, she knows the criteria back to front, and she knows what we're looking for, and she's judged with me for so many years. Like, she's judged the video entries with me, and we can have up to 300 videos entries every year, and she's sat there and just watched them all with me and helped me judge them. So she's probably somebody in Australia who's judged more than most people, and people don't even know it. Yeah, which is fantastic for a competition, because you've got to know the criteria, you've got to know what we're looking for, you've got to be able to understand all the little bits and pieces to it.
Yeah, it's important to really know, acknowledge, and understand that as a judge, you are not just giving your own personal opinion, but you are trying to judge with the criteria and in the sort of lane of what the competition wants as well. Like, the competition has a style and a criteria and a certain type of dancer or a performer that is like what they're looking for, basically. And so as a judge, it's important that you know that you are under that competition's umbrella. So like a performer who like went into Miss Pole Dance doing APC with the same routine, that might not be as well suited to the criteria that you're judging. And even though they might have won Miss Pole, if they do the same thing on this stage, it might not be a winning comp piece. So yeah, it's important to know like what the parameters of the competition are, what the type of dancer to win this competition should be, and to know that that's your job as a judge, is to like find that person and like and allocate those marks appropriately. So yeah, to know the competition and to know the score system and everything is such an important thing.
Yeah. We have to, when we're judging, and both you and I have judged so many different competitions over so many different years, you need to know what the organiser's looking for and what the criteria is, because these competitors are looking at the criteria and they're working their routine to that criteria. So it's so important to know the criteria and not like, oh, I felt like I like this one because of whatever reason. It's not about that. It's about, have they hit the criteria? So we really look. Yeah, we look for judges that understand it back to front.
Yeah, you do have to be super fair and impartial as well. Like just like, that was my favorite on the night, but this is the winner. Like you can have a favorite, but they might not be the winner.
No, exactly. They might be the people's choice though, because we give it people's choice.
Ooh.
So our next judge is Shannon Prickett. So Shannon Prickett is a Victorian, and Shannon has got a lot of titles. I don't know if people know the amount of titles she's got. So she's a diva and she's also an aerialist. And Shannon's titles include first runner-up of the Australian Pole Championships in the professional division in 2021. So basically she came second in Australia in 2021. She's won Victorian Pole Championships in 2022, and she also won Best Technique at the Australian Pole Championships in 2022. And most recently, she has won Frisk, which is a Pole Divas competition, and she did that with her partner with a really cool kind of like I think it was like a flamenco routine.
Amazing.
Very cool, yeah.
Was it a fiery tango and pole dance fusion?
Yeah,
I think it might have been.
Yeah, I think it was. So, and then the other thing that she's doing now, I think she's just finished touring, was with Cirque when they toured around Australia.
Hallelujah. Yeah, she was a featured pole artist, which is super exciting. Well done to her. She's done a lot of performing. So she's been in various shows across Australia, including, is this Bass Fam Creatives or Bass Fam Creatives?
Bass, I think. Yeah. I think she does. Well, look, here we go with our words again. Shannon, you tell us if we got it wrong and we'll fix it for you.
I don't know how to say. I'm reading it and I'm trying to sound like I know what I'm talking about, but I don't. Anyway, I'm going to continue reading. It says the mansion, the experience, and witch, Shimmery Couture's Burlesque Melbourne, and Highwire Entertainment's Peak. Oh my goodness. How do I say these words? Raconteur?
Raconteur, maybe? Yeah, I think so. Raconteur.
Production Club Soda Dance and Club Soda and Dance Born Arts 5 Elements featured in all of these. What an amazing!
Do you know any of those?
I will after I Google them right now.
Yeah. Look, we both know Cirque.
Yeah, we know. But also I feel like these are like maybe Victoria sort of things that haven't come to WA. We don't get much anything in WA, so I would love to know what all these things are, and I will be Googling them because I love a good old Google. But yeah, unfortunately in WA we have nothing really. We don't have any really cool we don't have a really cool cultured dance scene over here, so I'm very jealous.
Yeah, I know. What a cool thing for a pole or an aerialist to be able to perform as well.
Yeah, it's such a great skill to have, and also again to be able to judge, to be able to have that in your judging like toolkit is to know what it is to perform and what a good performer is versus what a less experienced performer is, and what that brings to the show, how difficult it is to execute moves at the same time as presenting and facing the audience and with face, to project into it. It does elevate the whole performance and it gives it that sort of elite professionalism as well.
Yeah. So it's really great to have somebody who actually understands performance, because 20 points is for performance. So it's a big deal. 30 points is for dance and 50 points is for tricks, technical difficulty, lines and extensions, and pole basically.
Yeah. That's a lot. That's a big chunk of your allocated points that you can achieve is through performance.
Yeah.
As it should be.
Well, that's it. Look, you can be the best poler with the best technical skills and the most beautiful lines, but if you're boring to watch, then you're not going to stand out as much as somebody who's really entertaining to watch. So we have to have performance in there.
Yeah, and it's a performing art.
Exactly.
Even if you classify as a sport, it's still a performing art.
Yeah.
Well, you're on stage.
We're a mix of things, aren't we?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So yeah, for sure, it's such an important and it's such an important part of it. Should we talk about our next judge, the amazing Miss Mishka? So she is a current champion of all things, it seems.
Like everything.
Everything. She's on a run, isn't she? So she is the current Australian pole champion, the current Miss Pole Dance Australia, the current Miss Pole Icon, the current pole icon. I think she is the first person in pole history to have all three of those at once.
Yeah.
And she just won something at Exotic Gen as well, didn't she? I'm not sure
Yeah.
exactly the I don't have it written in front of me, but I'm not sure what category it was. But she came first in something in that as well.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
So what a huge, she's just on fire. What a huge year for her. So she's the current Australian pole champion. So she's going to be handing over that title to somebody else. So she'll be losing that one this year because obviously she's not competing, she's judging.
that's not as good because it's too heavy, too many. She might hurt herself carrying all her titles.
She might just do that. And then she just handed over the crown for Miss Pole Dance Australia as well.
That's right. Oh, so she's not the current. She was the current until
Yeah.
just now. Do you know, she's a great example of a really solid competitor, though. Like she is
Yeah.
a very solid competitor, and she has whatever her sort of ritual is or however she prepares, she's always solid. Like you never nervous about watching her or unsure of what she's going to do. She's very like steady. So she's a great person to watch, but also I'll be really interested to see like how she judges as well, because
Yeah.
the next person on the list of judging is me. I'm
You are judging, and everyone's very excited to have you there as a judge. I've actually had people message me and go, "Oh my God, Elle, I cannot believe that Felix Cane is coming to Tasmania."
swoon. I am.
Yes.
This is going to sound a little bit conceited, but I'm going to say it anyway. A lot of people, when they find out I'm judging, are like, oh no, I can't do the spatchcock in front of Felix, or they get nervous about doing the spatchcock if they've got it in their routine. So I'm just going to do a little precursor. I freeing love seeing the spatchcock on stage because I feel like it's my little legacy. So any sort of spatchcock on stage thrills me. I love to see it. So don't feel like I'm going to judge you any more harshly just because is kind of my move. It's not kind of my move. I made it up. It is my move. But yeah, I know it might be a little bit of intimidating, but I'm thrilled to see it always. It's my baby and I love it.
Yeah, I love seeing it too. Like, it's so cool to have a move that you made up so many years ago that people are still putting in competitions today.
No, it's so good because it was a long time ago. Like I debuted it in 2009. So
Yeah.
I think it was 2008 I first created it. So it's like it's an old move and it's still challenging.
It's really hard.
Yeah, I
I
know.
used to get people to shove me into it.
Let me shove you into it. I would love to shove you into a spatchcock. Oh my gosh, that'd be my
No,
like
I'm that
mission next time
flexible
I
anymore.
see you. Yeah, I'll be like, bye. I'll just leave you in the studio. See you later. Good luck getting out of that.
Yes. Yeah, exactly. Getting out of it's the hard part too, isn't it? Not just
Um,
getting into it.
I know it's harder getting out than it is in. It's hard to get in. All right, enough about me.
Do you want
Let's.
to talk about maybe what you look for when you judge? Because I think
Oh,
that's interesting.
yeah, sure. So I do want to talk about what I look for. Like when I'm judging, I think people always, I've heard the sort of comment, oh, judging must be so difficult. It must be so difficult. And I think if you were, like we were talking about before, if you were to choose your favorite, that would be difficult. But I think judging itself is quite easy because it's numbers and it's scales. So what I usually do is I, in my mind, create the perfect pole dancer. So the most flexible pole dancer you've ever seen, mixed with strongest pole dancer you've ever seen, mixed with the most excellent tricks and execution you've ever seen. So that would be my like top marks. And it's not like wildly outside of the realm of possibility. Usually I'll choose someone who's quite exceptional that I know, so I can sort of visualize that in my mind. For example, if I know one of the recent winners, like I'll look at all of the recent winners up to like 5 years so that I know what the gist of the feeling of the comp winner should be. And then I'll merge them into sort of one dancer in my mind and allocate that would be top marks. So this created vision of a pole dancer that's very perfect and perfect for this comp would be my top marks. And then it will go down from there. So if someone is comparable to that, they would get very high marks. I very rarely give like perfect scores, because I think it doesn't allow me much room to adjust. It's very difficult when you first see the first performer to be able to know what's coming next. So if you give the first performer top marks, 10 out of 10, because you think they're the best you've ever seen, and then somebody else comes out and they're better, then where are you going to go from there? So I don't start low, but I very rarely do top marks. So combination of my made up dancer who's perfect versus what I see on stage. And I've seen enough pole now and judged enough competitions that I have a good feeling for it. So I can quite accurately gauge what the scoring should be. I very rarely need to go back in and sort of adjust my scoring. But I'm not opposed to doing that. Like if I see someone who I think is excellent and I give them very high marks, and then I see someone else who is more excellent, I'll give them the same marks and maybe lower the one that I saw before because I wasn't expecting to see such excellent quality. I don't think there's anything wrong with that as long as you are systematically uniform across the board. I'm very, very objective. I find it very easy now that I've done it a lot of times to, even if I know the person, not be affected by that personal relationship. So I will be extremely objective. At this stage in my pole career, I feel like I'm also, I have the blessing of not that I don't care who wins, but I have no personal vendettas against anyone or no competitions with anyone. So I don't have any problem with anybody winning. I know that when I was competing, your emotions and your feelings are a little bit different because you're kind of still in it. Whereas now, and not that you can't judge objectively with the emotions, it's just really lovely not to have them. So yeah, I can be very objective and I find it easy to allocate the numbers. I think the only thing that I don't enjoy so much about judging is that you don't just get to sit back and enjoy the show. You do have to have that critical eye on, and you do have to be very aware and working the whole time. So it is a bit tiring, but I do enjoy it, and I do think that I bring value. I feel like I've got a lot of experience. I know a good performer, definitely. I know a lot about technique. And even the things that I can't do physically on the pole, I know enough about the human body to be able to say, oh, that is difficult in this way. And this is very impressive because of these skills. And even if I don't have that skill set, I understand the skill set.
You have to be able to when you're judging as well.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
For me, a lot of it is technique, like really clean technique is very important for me. Very important for me. I will score very easily. You will score low if you don't have very clean technique. I think for me it is just not disappointing, but you won't gain marks for doing harder tricks messily than doing tricks within your skill level perfectly, like really clean. That for me is putting your best on stage. It's not about how hard the trick is, it's about how well you can do it.
Yeah. Even things like, for an example of that would be if you're going to do a jade split and your jade split is not flat, then, it's not great technique. So it's showing that you don't have a split. So you'd be better off doing a different trick.
Yeah. Agreed. It's also having the sort of self-awareness to showcase what you are good at, what you are really great at, and not just sort of cookie cuttering it and putting it in because that's what you saw or that's what you anticipate should be in.
Yeah, and working around the criteria to suit you. So if flexibility is not your strong point, what part of your body is flexible? Like, can you do a pike? Is it your hips? Is it your back? Is it your shoulders? Show that. So
showcase the part of you that is the most flexible. So it might not be the jade split. You might have super bendy shoulders, and there's a lot of moves in pole dancing that are for super bendy shoulders. Oh my God. I'm going to drink some water.
Been drinking water the whole time. We talk so much that we need water.
Hydrated.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly that. If you are not flexible in the hamstrings, then you might be flexible in your arms. And I think there is a lot of sort of self-learning there to sort of identify in my body, where am I the most flexible? And then what moves translate this flexibility on the pole? Like how can I showcase this on the pole? Which is why I created the spatchcock. Like I am naturally extremely flexible in my middle splits, and I have a ridiculously low pancake, and I have very, very, very long hamstrings, like stupidly long hamstrings. There weren't any moves in pole dancing at that point in time that showcased what I was most flexible at. So I made one.
Yes, you did.
Yes, I did.
A very good one.
Thank you.
All right, let's move on to In-Yong.
So In-Yong is our international guest performer and judge.
Yeah.
I'm very excited to see her on stage. I think she has such a beautiful quality to her movements. She's so glorious to watch. She is the CEO of Tara Pole Dance, which is one of the pole studios that we have been coveting on our Instagrams. Very beautiful pole studio. So a beautiful dancer from a beautiful studio. She's got an extraordinary list of titles. She brings unparalleled expertise and passion to APC. I'm going to rattle off some of her titles because this is super exciting. She is 2019's IPSF Elite Secondist.
Second, yes.
Elite Secondist. It says ST here, but I'm going to go second. And I believe that I'm going to try and remember what IPSF is, Elle, and I'm going to do it, and you're going to tell me if I'm wrong. It is International Pole Sports Federation.
Yeah. Oh, look at you. You did it.
Thank you.
Good one.
Thank you. She was the 2022 Korea Pole Championships judge. She is the 2023 Korea UPKC judge. And she is the 2023 X-Pole Championship Korea judge. She is also the 2023 Korea PIC judge and the 2024 Korea UPKC judge. And I don't know what UPKC stands for.
To be fair, I don't even know what that stands for.
I feel like it is United Pole Korean Championships.
Oh, I think you're right. I don't know if you're right, but it sounds right to me.
We should probably find out. But she's, whatever those letters stand for, she's amazing.
Yeah. And the other thing to say about In-Yong, she hasn't judged for us before, but look at her judging experience.
Yeah, exactly. She's got so much under her belt. And I feel like you can also tell from her quality of movement that she has a lot of training in her. Like, I feel like she was maybe dance trained before pole. So
I think so too. Yeah, and look, she owns a really big, beautiful studio. She's competed herself and she's judged a lot. So she is also our guest performer.
I'm really excited. I know I say excited a lot, but I'm genuinely excited. So I don't know what other words to use. I am so looking forward to watching her dance and judging with her as well. I love to have a good conversation with other judges as well. Lately, judging has been, I want to say boring because everybody agrees. Sometimes it's really fun when judges disagree and you have to have like a little fight.
I've been in a few of those.
Sometimes you do
backstage sometimes.
Yeah, sometimes you have to have a little fight. So you have to be like, what are you talking about? Are we watching the same show?
You see what I was saying?
Like, yeah, what do you mean?
That again, yeah.
Yeah, it's so fun. So those are, not that it's fun to fight, but sometimes it's a little entertaining to have a bit of drama.
Yeah, it is. Well, what we've started doing now is we film every single competitor in every single heat. And so if the judges can't remember, because we do have a lot, sometimes we've got 40 and you absolutely can't remember them all. So we can take it backstage and show the judges and go through the routines with them that way. And then they can remember who it was and then adjust if they need to. So if there is a lot of no way, I've got these as top three. And then another judge goes, I don't have any of those as my top three. I've got these ones.
Yeah.
Obviously, we add up the scores. And we do it two ways. So we add up the total scores and we give the top three from the totals, and then we minus the highest and lowest scores from each judge. So it balances it out. So not one judge can make one person win, not one judge can make somebody lose. So we minus those to make it fair but we also let the judges have a discussion and to make sure that they're all happy moving forward with who our place getters are.
Yeah.
So, and I think that's really important because judging a pole competition is hard because of the amount of time that you've got between each competitor, and then you've got to write and judge within 1 minute, because our judges also, we say to them, don't look down while the performance is on. So you won't see our judges writing on paper while people are competing, because that's when they'll miss something. So they've got to watch the performance in its entirety, then they judge, then the MC comes on, and then the next person comes on. So everything happens super fast. You don't have time to go, oh wait, what did I just write?
Yeah. Do you know what I do? I'll watch and I'll take notes without looking. Do you know what I mean? And then I'll look at them at the end and be like, I don't know what that says. No, I do. It'll be like just a word or just like a memory prompt, just so that I have like something to go off.
I do that too, but I'll write things like "girl" in red.
Yeah. So, yeah. Or like, or I'll be like, write the name of the song down so that I can remember it. Like I'll write the competitors like on a notepad, write the numbers down and the name, and then just like some points that like will help me to remember. Sometimes it helps, sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes you've seen so many that you're like, oh, red sparkly.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't remember.
And it was like, I remember judging the Arnolds when they were here. I used to judge the Arnolds every year, and I'd fly down to Melbourne to judge them. Toby used to run the Arnolds, but there was like 100 competitors, 100.
That's
so
crazy.
It was so hard to judge because there was just so many. And then after a while, it can sort of blend a little bit because it's just so many. So you have to have like little prompts in your mind to remember these things. So I'm really fast at judging. Like, I don't know if you've noticed, but I'll finish before people have started writing. It's because I've done so many.
You've had so much experience. Yeah, I'm quite fast as well. Yeah, I also, I feel like when you've done it a lot, you don't second guess yourself as much. Like you don't have to think slowly and think through. You just you know, and you can. It's just a skill. You can do it faster.
Yeah. I mean, sometimes it's close. Sometimes it's really hard if you've got, a couple of people who are super close in points. Like we've had points that have been exactly the same, and we've had 0.5 over difference at nationals. Yeah. So, and that's when it gets hard. Yeah. Because then you've got to really think about those two, the top two, what they did. Like it's always going to be somebody did, something different than somebody else or better than somebody else. So somebody's flexibility might have been better, somebody's strength might have been better, somebody's performance might have been better, or somebody's dance might have been better. So it's like, and then you have to sort of break it down and then have a really big discussion with the judges. I think
there's a couple of like sort of situations. If there isn't a clear standout winner, that's sometimes hard because you're like, okay, well, what's heaviest now? Like which points are heaviest now? Because everyone, they're the same. Well, first, second, third are all scoring the same. So how do we differentiate between these three performers to make this make sense in this competition?
Yeah. And I tell you now, this year at APC, it's going to be hard. It's not going to be a breeze to judge. They are good.
I can't wait. I can't wait to see them. I think as well, that's why it's always really good to have a panel, because you do have people to bounce off, like you're like, oh, I don't remember, but then you can work together to sort of work it out.
Yeah. All right. So we've got one more judge that you don't have in front of you. So our last judge is Jamie. So Jamie Clark. Now he is the Tasmanian Pole Championships organizer.
Oh, fantastic.
Yeah. So he organises the championships for us. And he's also a battle champion. So he competed in the Australian Pole Championships for quite a few years. And he's the battle champion winner. I think it was a long time ago now, maybe 2015. Yeah. But he knows the championships back to front, and the fact that he runs it and he knows the criteria and all the judges' scores and everything. And Jamie's been polling for, I think, maybe 15 years.
Amazing.
So, yeah. So I'm excited to have him in a Tassie rep.
I was going to say a Tassie rep, and also knows the competition really well. Amazing.
Yeah. So I mean, there are judges.
Such a great lineup. I'm sorry to interrupt you there, Elle, but I just wanted to say an exceptional lineup of judges. Really, really, really great judges. I'm looking forward to judging with them.
It's such a good mix, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a great mix. That's another good thing as well, is having a mix of types of performer and dancer to sort of really give credit.
And that's it. And there's just so much experience within these judges.
Exactly. And we should add up all the poll years we all have.
Can you imagine? It'd come to, what would it come to? I reckon it's maybe 90.
Oh gosh.
Yeah, maybe 90 years poll experience. I think it actually would be up there.
That's a bit nuts, isn't it? Yeah. Because like 15 years, like some of them 20 years. Yeah, I reckon it would get to, it's up there. So that's a lot of years poll experience there. That's a good judging panel. That's a good experienced judging panel, and we love it.
Yeah. So that's our judges for the 2024 Australian Pole Championships. Very honoured to have them judging, and I think the competitors are excited about this lot of judges. So if their competitors can be excited about any judges, these ones are good ones.
Excellent. Well, I'm so looking forward to it, and I'm sure everyone's very excited about the competition and finding out the results at the end.
Yay! Well, that's it for this podcast. So this one's a little quick one because all of our podcasts are so long all the time. So thank you to everyone for listening. Once again, this is Felix Cane and Elizabeth Domazet, and you can find us at The Real Felix Cane or Aerial Pole on Instagram. And if you liked this episode, please like, subscribe, and
follow us. We'd love that.
Follow us.
Give us a 5-star review. Please don't give us a bad review.
Have you even given us a 5-star review yet?
No, I haven't listened to it. I can't stand the sound of my own voice.
Maybe just give it a review.
I might just give it a 5-star review.
Anyway. All right. Thank you, everyone. And we'll talk to you soon.
Thanks, guys. Bye.
Bye.